Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's EBC video. We're in Red Wing, Minnesota on top of Bluff. It's a bedrock native prairie, and we're here today to think about Matthew 16, where Jesus calls Peter the rock on which the church is going to be built, just like the prairie is on top of this bedrock. Now, as we're here today, Matthew 16 opens up and Jesus is asking his disciples a question. He says, "Who do the people say that I am?" The disciples start to answer this question with sort of the typical things they've been hearing. People say you're a prophet. Maybe some say you're Elijah. They think maybe you're Jeremiah, John the Baptist. I gotta say that one doesn't make any sense because John the Baptist had been there contemporaneous in Jesus' time. But this is what the people have been saying, is that Jesus is a prophet. Now, Jesus then asks the disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" And I think the question sounds like it was asked of everyone of the group. But Peter pipes up right away and says, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And you know, I got to picture this for just a moment, that you can sort of picture all the rest of the disciples being like, "Oh, that's what I was going to say. He took it from me. That was going to be my answer too," right? And you're reminded even a little bit of Luke 22, when the disciples are arguing with each other about who's going to be first among them. And then Jesus says, no, you have to understand, it works differently this way. Whoever's going to serve is going to be first. And those who are first are going to be the servants. Those who would put themselves first are not really where Jesus wants us to be. He wants us to be those who are serving. So we've got that image for a moment of the disciples maybe sort of all wondering like, hey, is Peter really the best among us? And then Jesus says, right, "Blessed are you, you're the rock on which the church is going to be built." And it still sounds a little bit like all the disciples might be thinking, hey, maybe Jesus is up here. But Jesus says something super important at this point, right? He says, "Blessed are you, Peter, because you didn't come to this information all by yourself, but God has given you this information. The Spirit has given you this information." And so we know, as Jesus is telling Jesus that he is the Messiah, he's the Son of the living God, that it's not just something that Peter figured out. It's something that in fact the Spirit comes and tells him. And it then echoes what happens for all of the disciples in John 20 after the resurrection, when Jesus appears to all of them and says that when you forgive the sins of any, they'll be forgiven, and when you retain the sins of any, those will be retained. We know that all of the disciples are included in the blessings of the Holy Spirit, just like we're all included in the blessings of the Holy Spirit. Now, so why are we standing on top of this great big rock in Red Wing to think about this? I just want to think about it this way for just a moment. Jesus is encouraging us to serve. He's telling us that those who would be first among us would be servants of everyone. And that frankly, we're all that rock, right? Now, Peter is a great rock on which the church is built. We all have a role to play in building our own faith on a rock, but also building the faith of others on the rock that we can be in the world. So this week, as you're going about all of the things that you're doing, find ways in which you can serve others to be a rock for your own faith and for their faith as well. Everyone, have a great week. And as you're still watching this beautiful, beautiful scene, I just want to share one fun little extra tidbit. On February 2nd, it was 4 degrees, and I did an EBC video at the Minneapolis airport. Today, it's about 96 degrees in Red Wing, and it's almost 100 degrees when you factor in the wind chill on that one evening, and then the heat index today. It's a marvelous, marvelous creation with so much variation, so much beauty in it. Please enjoy that. Everyone, do have a great week.